I've recently graduated from uni, and kind of for this next few years, next chapter in my life, I'm quite keen to explore a more non-traditional, non-conventional path. And certainly your time in your 20s certainly wasn't conventional. So I kind of want to take you back to when you were at uni, and I just want to get into your head and understand kind of what were your motivations and kind of aspirations at that age.
So I think graduating from university, I had this notion of being successful, and that notion of success was within quite a narrow stream of what I'd known, what people I'd seen around me.
Yeah.
So it hadn't actually expanded beyond having a job, and a job that carries a certain status with it, a certain profile.
Yeah.
And I think that defines success at that point. Like, I hadn't actually thought about it beyond a 2 to 3 year window.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even asked myself that question. I hadn't even asked myself the question as to, what are those aspirations based upon?
Mm-hmm.
So
you almost weren't fully thinking for yourself. It was just kind of based on your...
Yeah, I mean, I thought for myself.
Yeah, right, yeah. At that age.
But I didn't. And there was this strange urgency to get to graduation and get on with life, which I don't even know where that came from.
Right, interesting.
But I was there, and now I had to make some choices.
Yeah.
So that's what I ended up doing. And funnily enough, like in my year out at university, where I worked for a consulting company, I said, I'm going to take a bit of time out after I graduate and do something. And interestingly, when everyone else started applying, I did too. So there wasn't even this notion of, hold on, I said to myself a year back that I wouldn't do this. I just went with the flow.
Interesting that you just saying that reminds me of kind of my year at university, and thinking about everyone's applying for stuff which makes you feel like you should be applying for the same things, because that is just what you do. Yeah. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
And also you don't want to miss out. Like, there must be some sense that everybody's going for it. Like, am I missing something or am I not? Okay. And even if it is from the view of a safety net, like it doesn't actually give you much time to think outside of it, because you're constantly filling in these application forms, ask a very specific type of question. But you don't actually pause. And for some people it's great, and for them, more power to it. But I think at that point, on reflection, it probably wasn't, but I got swept up in it.
Okay. Which I feel like everyone does. My perception.
Yeah. And if it's for them, that's great.
Yeah.
But that notion of like stability and security, and I don't know if those are questions that people ask or think about. Yeah. But the notion of success is one that everyone seems to be aspiring for. Yeah. Especially at that age, which in the world that we live in, with the amount of access to media and travel and all that kind of stuff, it's strange to think that that's what it's based upon. Like, these notions of success are so ingrained.
So for you personally, did you have some kind of passion or real interest, or was it just that idea of I want to be or need to be successful?
I think I was passionate about stuff. I've always been motivated with stuff, but I didn't know what that looked like. And also I didn't know if it was possible to make money in that world. Or even earning money from the kind of stuff I was interested in didn't seem legitimate. So you have this world where you earn money, and then you have this other world where you're passionate, but actually the notion of bringing it together was just really alien.
So then after uni, then what were you doing?
So I started working in the audit practice for a big 4 firm.
Classic.
Very long. And studying for my ACA, which they were sponsoring, and I was like, this is it. This is what but I was working so hard and also studying for stuff that I personally just was like, what's the point of this?
Okay.
And maybe
when did that point come? Was it within the first week, or was it kind of, how long were you there?
No, the initial like glamour of it is pretty cool. You know, you get all the corporate swag, and you got this really fancy office to turn up to every day, and I mean, I'm not more person, so I didn't like waking up early and
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But that was kind of minor, and I think it was probably a bit of a slow burn.
Yeah.
Where I was like, I am busting a gut here.
Yeah.
And I don't know to get where. Like, I'm all about hard work, but to what end was just a question that kept reoccurring in my head.
Yeah.
Because everything that I was studying was just like, you know, for that particular world, it's probably very important, but for where I thought the world and where I was going to play in it was just seemed totally disconnected.
Interesting. So then, with that thought process, what did you do about it? Like, what was going through your mind? What did you want to change about it? What was going on?
Well, good question, because I didn't think I could change anything.
Okay.
So it was just, this is just the way it is.
Yeah.
This is the choice I've made. This is what success looks like.
Okay.
And it must have hit a bit of a tipping point, because there was one day I was driving back, it was pretty late.
Yeah.
It must have been February or March, the weather was crap.
Yeah.
It was dark.
Yeah.
I was coming back late, knowing that I had to get back in order to study.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what am I doing? So on this drive back, I was like,
yeah,
this is ridiculous. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was February, March, and by the end of April,
So what? So
on that drive,
that was kind of where you made your decision.
That was it. I was just like, this cannot continue. And by the end of April, I got myself out of there.
So do you think there was such a build-up from when you started, your perceptions of what you thought it would be,
yeah,
and then the realities of it,
yeah, absolutely,
didn't transpire, so that didn't meet?
It didn't meet, and also I think I just realised that I built up a picture in my head that was probably
right.
I just bought into that world without actually knowing the reality of the day-to-day of it. And you know, a lot of people accept it, but for me, it just wasn't right.
Okay.
And there were, responsibilities. I mean, responsibilities and expectations.
Yeah.
And I think some of the things that made it easier was that my rental contract was coming to the end at that period, so it was just like, when you start looking around for signs that validate your position.
Right.
I think that's what happened. All right, that's telling me I should leave.
Okay.
So I just went for it.
You left.